timelines for party primaries, noting that INEC lacks the statutory powers to abridge timelines provided under the Electoral Act 2026. On the substitution and withdrawal of candidates, the court ruled that INEC cannot impose earlier deadlines than those stipulated by the law, and further held that INEC lacks the authority to publish the final list of candidates before the statutory 60-day minimum period prescribed by the Electoral Act. In the suit, the plaintiff, through its counsel, J.O. Olotu, sought several reliefs, including a declaration that INEC's powers to receive notices of party primaries and candidates' particulars, as well as its duty to monitor the exercises under Sections 29, 82 and 84 subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2026, do not extend to fixing timelines for political parties to conduct primaries ahead of the 2027 general election. According to the revised timetable issued by the Commission, all political parties were expected to submit their membership registers by May 10, conduct primaries to select candidates, and apply for withdrawals and submit replacements for the 2027 general election before the end of May. A group of elder statesmen and prominent Nigerians under the aegis of the Patriots has raised fresh concerns over Nigeria's deepening insecurity, worsening poverty, and what it described as the steady erosion of national values. The group stated this in a communique issued after its meeting at the organization's secretariat in Lagos, where members reviewed the state of the nation and deliberated on preparations ahead of the 2027 general elections. The communique signed by the chairman of the group, Chief Emeka Anyoko, and Secretary General Olawale Okuniyi, condemned the persistent killings, kidnappings, and attacks on communities by bandits and other armed groups across different parts of Nigeria, warning that the country urgently requires far-reaching structural reforms to avert further decline. The Patriots also expressed concern over the growing number of internally displaced persons across the country, noting that widespread insecurity had forced many farmers to abandon their farmlands, thereby worsening food security challenges nationwide. The group urged the federal government to treat insecurity as a national emergency in view of the grave implications for governance, economic survival, and public safety. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Patriots criticized the absence of ideology among political parties, arguing that it had encouraged frequent defections by elected public officials, which has reinforced public perception that political parties merely exist as vehicles for acquiring power and public office, rather than platforms driven by principles and programs. The Patriots also renewed their support for independent candidacy, insisting that broader electoral reforms are necessary to make Nigeria's political process more inclusive. A new report on artificial intelligence and civic engagement in Africa says Nigeria leads the continent in civic technology innovation. It, however, notes that most platforms are yet to fully utilize AI in strengthening democratic participation and accountability. Correspondent Chimezie Nzedima reports that this was launched in Abuja by Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative.
Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative in Abuja has launched a report on technology, artificial intelligence, and civic engagement in Africa, revealing that Nigeria hosts more than 80 of the nearly 3 civic technology platforms identified across Africa. Programs Director of Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative, Halima Olufade, said despite Nigeria's leadership in civic technology, most platforms still have limited use of artificial intelligence tools. The report also revealed that only 49 of the civic technology products surveyed across Africa were genuinely AI driven, according to the organization. Mobile phones, SMS, and USSD platforms remain the most accessible civic engagement tools for millions of Africans without reliable internet access.
Nigeria and across Africa. We write to AI digital strategies with citizens at the center. Stop treating technology as an end in itself. Name the structural problems that limit participation, such as inequality, exclusion, distrust, weak institutions, and address them directly. To civic technology developers, design for the citizens you actually have, not the citizens you wish you had. Build for SMS and USSD as deliberately as you build for the web. Localize. The most beautiful dashboard is worthless if it cannot reach the people whose life it is meant to improve. To donors and development partners, fund the unfashionable work. Digital literacy programs do not photograph as well as launch events. Policy advocacy moves more slowly than product development. But without these foundations, civic technology stays a parade of pilots that never scale. Invest in the boring work that makes the exciting work possible.
Director of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, Dr. Elizabeth Douglas, said Nigeria's recent global recognition in digital governance shows the country's growing role in promoting transparency and citizen partnership through technology. She, however, called for stronger government partnership with young innovators and civic technology organizations.
All the promise of technology in civic life, government engagement with youth-led innovation remains too often episodic, limited to consultations rather than co-creation, to applause rather than active partnership. If these two OGP awards mean anything, they must mean that Nigeria is now ready to go further. Sustainable nation building cannot happen without government choosing deliberately and consistently to partner with its citizens, in this case, especially with young people and the organizations that serve them, not just as beneficiaries to be managed, but as architects of the future that we all say we want. That means resourcing youth-led civic technology. It means embedding youth organizations in policy design from the onset, not after decisions have already been made. It means treating Nigeria's Open Government Partnership National Action Plan as a living accountability instrument, one with real traceable commitments attached to it. The framework exists. What is required now is the political will to fully inhabit it.
Representing the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, Abdullahi Abubakar, said artificial intelligence presents both opportunities and risks for governance and public engagement. He noted that Nigeria is developing ethical guidelines for the use of AI focused on accountability, transparency, and inclusion.
I strongly believe that Africa must not merely consume emerging technologies, we must actively shape how they are governed, deployed, and aligned with our developmental realities and values. Nigeria has continued to take deliberate steps in this direction. Through the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, the agency is working to position Nigeria as the leading African hub for responsible AI innovation, research, talent development, infrastructure, and governance. We are also currently developing the Nigeria's guideline for the ethical development and deployment of artificial intelligence, which is anchored on principles such as accountability, transparency, human oversight, safety, data protection, fairness, and risk-based approach to AI adoption.
Stakeholders at the event agreed that Africa must move beyond merely consuming emerging technologies and instead develop systems and policies that reflect the continent's realities, cultures, and democratic aspirations. In Abuja, Chimize Zadima, reporting for Signature Television.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has assured Nigerians that there is no need to panic over the Ebola virus, saying the country has the capacity to combat the virus. Head of Health Emergency Preparedness at the NCDC, Dr. Biodun Oguniyi, who gave the assurance during a media chat, warned that fear kills even more than death itself. Oguniyi said that this is not the first time Nigeria is getting prepared for this kind of outbreak, noting that there was a bit of a scare last year and used the opportunity to test the system, which produced a good outcome. He said Nigeria has a better health system to combat the virus and now has laboratory capacity, unlike in 2014 when the country had its first Ebola outbreak. His remark follows the new strain of Ebola virus, Bundibugyo, that hit the Democratic Republic of Congo, with 513 cases reported and 131 deaths recorded. Countries across West and Central Africa have resolved to modernize their ports to ensure that they remain competitive in global trade and be able to accommodate larger vessels. The president of the Port Management Association of West and Central Africa, Dr. Abubakar Dansoho, who disclosed this in Lagos, stated that Africa cannot achieve meaningful economic growth with outdated port infrastructure, insisting that there must be aggressive investment in modern ports, technology, and deep-sea facilities. Dansoho, who is also the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, commended President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy for providing policy direction that is repositioning Nigeria's maritime sector. According to him, port infrastructure remains the backbone of economic growth, noting that no country can expand its GDP without expanding and modernizing its ports, which he said requires huge investment in infrastructure. He said countries within the sub-region, including Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Benin Republic, are currently repositioning their port systems through upgrades and modernization projects. The NPA boss also highlighted the growing role of technology, automation, artificial intelligence, robotics, and data in port operations, noting that Nigeria has achieved nearly 90% automation at its ports. The Nigeria Police Force has commenced disciplinary action against Newton Isobeyi, an officer who threatened to kill anyone who filmed him while on duty. In a viral video, Isobeyi also threatened to shoot dead every passenger in a bus should someone in the vehicle film him while he is on duty. In a statement, the force public relations officer, Anthony Placid, said Isobeyi has been summoned to the Anambra Police Headquarters, where disciplinary procedures have commenced. Placid said the police do not tolerate threats, intimidation, abuse of office, or any conduct capable of undermining public trust and confidence in law enforcement institutions. The force spokesperson said that recording the activities of police officers discharging their duties is a legitimate tool for public accountability and transparency, which should not attract harassment. The police officer, who claimed that he has spent 26 years in service, while lamenting the poor working conditions in the force, warning that the boss who gave the order that police officers should be filmed will bury those he will kill for filming him. US sanctions Tanzanian police official over torture of rights activists. US deepens European uncertainty with deployment of 5,000 troops to Poland. Details international scene.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The United States has sanctioned a senior Tanzanian police official over allegations linked to the torture and sexual assault of East African rights activists Boniface Mwangi and Agatha Atuhaire last year. In a statement, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the State Department had designated Faustin Jackson Mafuele based on credible information that he was involved in gross violations of human rights. Tanzania's Foreign Affairs Minister Mahmoud Thabit Kombo told the press that the government was yet to receive the formal designation, which bars Mafuele from entering the U.S. The sanctions come amid growing scrutiny of Tanzania's human rights record, with U.S. lawmakers calling for tougher action. The two activists had traveled to Tanzania to observe the trial of opposition leader Tundu Lissu last May, when they were detained and later released, with Kenyan Mwangi saying he was held for several days alongside Uganda's Atuhaire. Mwangi alleged that he was stripped naked, hung upside down, beaten on his feet, and sexually assaulted in detention, while Atuhaire also said she was raped during her detention in Tanzania. Tanzanian police at the time dismissed the torture allegations, describing the activists' accounts as opinions and hearsay. United States President Donald Trump has announced plans to deploy an additional 5,000 troops to Poland, citing his friendship with right-wing Polish President Karol Nawrocki. Trump announced the surprise deployment on social media, days after a planned deployment to Poland was apparently scrapped and will deepen uncertainty surrounding the Trump administration's approach to NATO allies and its long-term commitment to maintaining a military presence in Europe. Trump said the action was based on the successful election of the now president, whom he proudly endorsed, and his relationship with him. Polish Foreign Minister Radek Sikorski also welcomed the news on Friday, saying it ensures that the presence of American troops in Poland will be maintained more or less at previous levels. The US president has for years been lambasting European NATO partners for failing to spend enough on defense, which has risen in recent weeks as European states criticize the US-Israeli war on Iran and refused to join the conflict. A court in Turkey has annulled the 2023 leadership election of the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, in a sharp escalation against the country's embattled opposition. This is the latest in a string of moves targeting Turkey's oldest political faction that won a huge victory over President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's ruling AK party in the 2024 local elections and has been rising in the polls. The ruling on Thursday overturned the result of a leadership election that brought in current party head Özgür Özel, with the court naming the party's former chair, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, who lost the election to Özel, as interim leader. The case was seen as a test of Turkey's shaky balance between democracy and increasingly centralized power, and the ruling may throw the opposition into further disarray and possible infighting and further boost Erdogan's chances of extending his more than two-decade rule. The CHP rejected the ruling as an attempted coup, while the government has denied the allegation, describing the judgment as renewal of Turks' faith in the rule of law. Let's now turn our attention to sports with Christopher Lele.
Eric Chell has strengthened his squad for the upcoming Unity Cup in London with the addition of 2 players as preparations intensify for the international tournament. The Super Eagles coach had earlier announced a 27-man squad for the competition but has now included Collins Iraso and Tijani Al-Amin in the team ahead of departure to England. Saul, who played for KRC Genk, returns to the national team after previously featuring in friendly matches against Iran and Jordan in March. His inclusion provides additional attacking options on the wings as Chell continues to assess his squad ahead of future international assignments. Defender Tijani Al-Amin, currently with Shooting Stars Sports Club, receives his maiden senior national team invitation following a series of impressive performances in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Jamaica Football Federation has announced a 24-man squad for the 2026 Unity Cup as preparations intensify for the four-nation tournament in London. The Reggae Boys squad was confirmed in a statement released on the Federation's official X account ahead of the semi-final clash against India. Jamaica will face India national football team in the second semi-final May 27 at the Valley, home of Charlton Athletic FC. The fixture comes a day after the opening semi-final between Nigeria national football team and Zimbabwe national football team. In tennis, Yannick Sinner will face French wildcard Clement Tauber in the first round of the French Open, which starts on Sunday, May 24. Second a clinch to career Grand Slam. Sinner was runner-up in last year's final, losing an epic contest to Spain's Carlos Alcaraz, the longest French Open final on record. The Italian won Australian and US Open titles in 2024 and Wimbledon in 2025, adding a second Australian title in 2025 too, leaving Roland Garros and his final Grand Slam to conquer. In swimming, several of the world's best swimmers were in action in the premier events Thursday evening in Sacramento, Calif, at the latest stop of USA Swimming's Pro Swim Series. Olympic gold medalist Tori Husk was racing in the 100 butterfly, coming from behind to win her second event of the meet, and later in the session, she emerged victorious with a come-from-behind effort in the 200 freestyle. Tori Husk has earned 2 wins in 2 tries in Sacramento thanks to her 100 butterfly triumph. Husk finished in 57 minutes 46 seconds to win by a half second. That's Sport News on Signature TV. I am Christopher Lele.
Popular Nigerian hype man Real MC Fish accuses his ex-wife, actress Anita Joseph, of infidelity involving several influential men. Nigerian actress and filmmaker Toyin Abraham expresses sadness over the recent killings and abductions involving teachers and children in Oyo State. And ace Nollywood actor and CEO of Liban Films International, Laide Olabanji, lambasts the Tinubu administration over what he described as the government's failure to protect the lives and property of Nigerians. Details on entertainment news with Quineth Wokonta.
Popular Nigerian hype man Real MC Fish has accused his ex-wife, actress Anita Joseph, of infidelity involving several influential men. MC Fish made the claim while reacting to the ongoing marital controversy involving media personality Frank Edoho and his wife Sandra Edoho. Frank had earlier accused Sandra of cheating on him with singer Chike. In response, Sandra also alleged that Frank was involved with several female celebrities, with both parties reportedly sharing evidence to support the accusation. Commenting on the situation, MC Fish advised men against tolerating infidelity in relationships. He further claimed that his marriage to Anita Joseph ended after he allegedly discovered she had been involved with multiple men, whose identities, according to him, would surprise many Nigerians if reviewed.
If I decide to even mention, the whole country go first day on pause first. Like everybody go first pause. Everybody go first pause. I decide to mention names, her colleagues that were involved, her friends that come online. Oh, you are a queen, you are this one, you are this, that, you are a role model. We know what you.
Nigerian actress and filmmaker Toyin Abraham has expressed sadness over the recent killings and abduction involving teachers and children in Oyo State. In a statement shared on her Instagram page, the actress described the situation as heartbreaking, noting that the violence in Oyo State and other parts of Nigeria had left many families grieving and communities traumatized. Toyin Abraham stated that the tragedy felt personal to her because of her strong connection to Oyo State through family, culture, and her love for the people. She also sympathized with the family of the victims, especially the parents of abducted children, and those affected by the recent attack in Orire local government area and other parts of the state. While commending security agencies and the Oyo State government for their efforts, she called for many urgent and decisive measures to secure the release of those still in captivity and improve the protection of lives and communities. Toyin Abraham further urged the government to take stronger steps to prevent future attacks, adding that Nigerians must remain united, support one another, and continue advocating for peace across the country. The development comes after reports that a male teacher abducted in Oyo State was allegedly beheaded by his captors, while at least 10 persons were reportedly killed in separate attacks in Oyo State and Katsina State. Similarly, Laide Olabanji Ace, Nollywood actor and CEO of Liban Films International, has criticized the administration of President Bola Tinubu over what he described as the government's failure to protect the lives and property of Nigerians. The filmmaker reacted to the worsening insecurity across the country, particularly the recent killing of a teacher who was reportedly beheaded in Oyo State, as well as the continuous attack and killings by bandits in Plateau State. Olabanji questioned the government's commitment to the welfare and safety of citizens, lamenting the persistent bloodshed and what he described as the administration's lack of urgency and responsiveness to the security crisis. In a video shared on his Instagram page, the actor expressed frustration over the rising number of deaths across the country, accusing the government of failing to address the suffering of Nigerians. He also stated that beyond issues such as poor electricity supply, bad roads, hunger, and high fuel prices, the government should at least prioritize the security of lives and property. Olabanji further stressed that Nigeria was bleeding as citizens continue to fall victim to bandits and kidnappers, while calling for an end to the killings across the country. That's the entertainment news. Queen F. Wokunta's Signature TV News.
That's the midday news. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha. Thanks for watching.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change a narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture exports. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Welcome to The Sage, the program where together we journey to uncover the many hidden treasures in our country. I am Dr. Kechi Obuagu, your privileged sage on this journey. Come walk with me. Come discover with me. In this first episode, and many of the subsequent episodes perhaps to come, we shall be looking at a particular problem of huge importance to our country, Nigeria, and to many other countries across the world. The issue of unemployment, the issue of economic disempowerment. Let me just say that I don't know whether those of you out there are aware of the fact that approximately 80%, that is my rough estimate, of the people in our country is made up of young people 40 years and below. And our statistics actually say that of this huge population of young people, 40 to 45% of them have no jobs or are underemployed. That's a huge number. That's millions of them. But we also do know that employment has been made so much worse by the pandemic that is currently on all over the world. And therefore, there's an even more urgent need to do something about it. It's not something that government alone can address. We need a multi-sectoral approach where every hand must come on deck, whether it's government or private sector or the NGO sector. In my auspices as the president of Conversations for Change, we are so keenly aware of this. And that is why a prominent part of that program, we're an international nonprofit, is actually helping young people who are keen on being entrepreneurs to become successful entrepreneurs. And so bear with us, because in the next few episodes, you will see many of those amazing young people who have made a success of their business. But again, let me say to many of you, as we said in our pilot episode, that while yes, we will to begin with showcase these homegrown ones, we are open to hearing from many, many of you out there who feel either you are or that you know other wonderful entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs who can be showcased, whom we can learn from. And so in this episode, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because we have a wonderful discovery for you. A young lady, extremely talented, dynamic, hardworking, creative, innovative. I could go on and on. A young lady that truly, truly has inspired me for the past few months. Stay with me. We shall unveil the package. Welcome back to The Sage. I am Dr. Kechi Obuagu, your privileged sage on this journey of adventure. It is with a great deal of pleasure that I introduce Ngozi Roland Onwegwumoke.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome to the show. And before I hand over to you and ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself, let me say something more, one more thing about Ngozi. You see, I never get tired of talking about Ngozi. But not only is Ngozi hardworking and enterprising, I think one of the things that endeared me to Ngozi after I met her is she embodies that concept of social entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. A heart that is large, a heart that gives from her own successes, that forever is wanting to teach, to mentor, to take others along with her. And she's a living testimony of the fact that when you give, that is when you truly receive.
Listen.
Ngozi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm Ngozi Roland Onwegwumoke, a graduate of agricultural economics from the Premium University of Ibadan. I also hold a master's degree in business administration. I am the CEO of Safi Event Managers, an event management and catering outfit. I'm also the CEO of Sem Foods and Spices, where we produce natural and healthy spices. I'm also the convener of Business Mind Foundation.
Wow.
A foundation that brings entrepreneurs and intending entrepreneurs together to help create visibility for their business, to also see how we can create partnership and encourage intending entrepreneurs to start up. And it's been a wonderful journey. It's been awesome, and I'm happy to be here today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being with us and agreeing to share. Ngozi, tell us a little about your business. What inspired you? How did you venture into this?
Just like a lot of young people, I would say unemployment pushed me into converting my passion, which is cooking, of course, into a business. That was how the event management and catering outfits came into play. But like the catering industry that we know, it's saturated. So I decided to create a niche for myself, which is the MSG-free catering. That is cooking without our conventional seasoning cubes. And of course, I can't cook for the whole world. So I started thinking of how can I make these available to people who I can't reach out to. And that's when I decided to create the natural spices. Of course, I may not be able to cook for you, but I can send my spice to you irrespective of your location. And so I launched Sem Spices. And 2 weeks after, I had a terrible, terrible accident that almost took my life. In fact, I had about 28 stitches in my head. So it was a downtime for me. It almost led me into depression. I was discouraged. And the money I used in starting the business, funny enough, was money that was deposited for a wedding I was supposed to cater for. You know, I had this dream, I had this vision, this plan that, oh, you know, like a lot of Nigerians will say, I will just blow when I start, you know? But it didn't happen. I didn't see it happen. And then the wedding was still coming, irrespective of my accident. Of course, I was still going to cater for the wedding. So it was a downtime for me. And along the line, a friend told me about Conversation for Change. Oh, there's an application for a fellowship program, and of course, they could give you grants and all that. I said, Nigeria, they've come again. Which one is fellowship program and grants? You know, so I reluctantly applied. And I was surprised. Like 2 days later, I got a call. We are invited for an interview. I said, are these people real? Interview? How? Because I remember I didn't even upload some of my documents. I was like, okay, let me just go and see for myself what's happening. And I was told that out of over 200 applicants, 60 were shortlisted. And I was among the 60. I was like, okay. You know, I met the panel. I shared my experience, my passion. It's my passion. So when I'm talking about it, you know it's a passion, you know. So I talked to them and they said, okay, we'll get back to you. And out of the 60, 15 were shortlisted. And I was still part of them. I was like, okay, I can see, you know. And then we started the fellowship program. They took us through a lot of training. And it made me understand business from a different perspective. So I would say Conversation for Change inspired me to take the next step. They taught me not just to build a business to finance my immediate needs, but to build a legacy for my unborn generation. They taught me how to build structure in my business. So it's a major inspiration. And from there, you talked about social entrepreneurship. Honestly, I didn't even think about that or know about that until I came into Conversation for Change. So they taught us what social entrepreneurship was, about giving back. And that was what birthed Business Mind Foundation. Because I thought, oh, I've learned something from this platform. I can teach it to others who don't have the privilege.
Yeah,
of
how wonderful.
This knowledge.
How truly wonderful.
And today, glory to God, over 1,200 members, and we are growing. So C4C is a major inspiration in my business.
Great. This is, I'm overwhelmed myself. I wasn't quite expecting to hear that.
Okay.
But it is what you are. And for us in C4C, it just brings out all those qualities which we are convinced is what we need for this country, for the world as a whole. That where young people come out, have the courage, follow their dream and their passion, work hard, and then, but also with a spirit of giving, that is the answer to the world's problem. Yeah. So Ngozi, wonderful. Thank you for being on the show and for sharing what drives you and the various brands you're in. Stay with us. When we come back, Ngozi will tell us a little bit more about how she survived the COVID, or perhaps you haven't survived. Stay with us. We'll be back. Thank you, viewers, for continuing to remain with us. As for me, I can never stop enjoying talking to you. So we had a wonderful story, but let me ask you for a little bit more in terms of details. How did your 3 branches grow? What is the structure? And so on. What were the challenges? What did you find as the milestones? And how indeed, so in addition to a little more understanding of your various arms of business and how you have grown, over time, I know you have, but also how have you survived the COVID?
Thank you very much. It's not been an easy journey. Before I joined the C4C fellowship program, I had just 4 spices. And to the glory of God, today we have over 20. We have new products as well.
Wow.
We have our teas, we have our granulas, then we have our date powder.
Okay.
So it's been an amazing journey, not easy, but like I said, what C4C did for me was to take me back to the roots. It was like starting afresh. I had to get everything right, from my accounting to my staff management to my customer service. I had to build a structure. I started afresh, trying to write down the visions, trying to create my business plan. I started doing my business canvas, and it helped me put everything I needed in place. So yes, I didn't have everything I needed available, but I had it at the back of my mind that this is what I need to make this business succeed. A lot of people go into business without really knowing what it takes. So at the end of the day, when they get into, when they are faced with challenges, you see it's a problem. So apart from putting this whole idea on paper, having the knowledge of what I needed, I tried to anticipate possible challenges so that when they occur, I just easily go over them instead of them taking me back. So building this structure helped me to know, okay, first thing was, is your business a profitable one? So I had to go back to say, okay. And I discovered that, funny enough, in some of my products, I wasn't making profits. So I had to go back to the drawing board to make sure that I got everything right. So my costing, some of these new entrepreneurs, when you're starting a business, you don't know you have to equate like the NEPA bills and all that. So these are things knowledges that I was equipped with during the fellowship program. So in building the structure, I knew the number of staffs I needed, I could afford at that particular time so that I don't run at a loss. So I knew the competence, what I needed to look out for in getting my staff. I knew what I needed as a person to also upgrade myself in terms of knowledge. So what I did was to try, because the whole spice thing, I didn't go for training. I wasn't trained on it. It was just a natural thing that came into it. I needed to do some short courses to make sure I was on point. So when I'm talking to people, I'm not just talking from the point of passion, I'm talking from the point of
knowledge,
experience and authority. So it's a different thing when somebody comes to tell you that, oh, use this, and then this happens. But I'm telling you what's going to happen, so I'm ready and equipped for every question you have for me. And I see that has even encouraged a lot of people to patronize me. Then part of the challenge was funding, which was something that Conversation for Change really helped me. From the grant I got, I was able to get the major equipment which I needed, which was a dehydrator. Because the dehydrator for my kind of business is very important. The difference between sun drying and dehydrating is sun drying reduces some of the nutrients of those ingredients I use. But when I dehydrate, it just eliminates the water content of the ingredients. So the funding aspect of the challenge. Then because I was a new business, a lot of people have this, oh, she's new, does she know what she's doing? Entering the market was a big deal. So the next thing I did was gifting. I give you my product for free. Go and try it out. If you
trial will convince you.
A trial will convince you. So I knew I was selling trust and not trust. So I took that bold step. So initially it wasn't so profitable because I had to use my money to get money. So by the time people started using it, I started getting return customers and referrals. So that was how the business grew. And then people started calling me. So even in the COVID period, of course, the catering business was almost locked down, And then I thought to myself, okay, there's a pandemic. How do I come in? How do I help? How do I make money from the situation? And I said, okay, I have something I am offering, which is a healthier alternative to not the conventional spices you have in the market. I started researching, which is one of the major things I learned from C4C. You don't just go into things like that. You have to research. You have to read. You have to, go to the internet. What do you do with your YouTube? What do you do to Google? You have to get information and be updated. So I said, okay, this is a pandemic that, of course, attacks the immune system. What can I offer? And that was how
Great
I
question.
about,
Great question.
So I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, we have to boost our immune system. And then I brought my flu tea, which is an immune booster. And I put it up on social media. Get this product for your natural way to just prevent the whole COVID thing. And funny enough, it sold. This COVID has been my best period.
Wow.
Not in terms of the pandemic, but in terms of business. I've made my maximum profits. I made sales of over 1.5 million in COVID alone from my spices and my teas. And then the COVID, because a lot of people were at home, they started paying more attention to their health. They started having time for social media to read, okay, what's new, what's healthy. So in the COVID, my vision expanded from creating healthy alternatives to conventional spices to creating healthy alternatives to everything that enters your mouth. So name it. We started with our teas, we started with our granola, and we went into date powder production, which is, of course, your natural alternative to your sugar. So even if you're diabetic, of course, you can use it for your cereal, you can use it for but the flu tea has been amazing. And we have also launched our calming tea to help reduce the stress.
You didn't bring flu tea for us to see?
To help reduce the stress the COVID has brought. But a lot of people have lost their jobs, a lot of people are going through emotional stress. All you just need is our calming tea and you're good. And everything is 100% natural. No artificial additive, no preservatives. But even in the COVID period, another advantage we had were we started having distributors.
Okay.
We started having customers from different states. So what we did was look for the logistic companies that were allowed to move during the pandemic, and people started registering to be distributors. So it made it easily available for my clients, for my customers, to have it at their tips whenever they need it. So right now we are in over 12 states. And it's growing. Even in Abuja, we have distributors in Abuja as it is, So it's like my promise to my customers, I'm bringing this product closer to you. So that is when we launched into the distributorship thing. And it's been amazing and it's really growing. But the most important thing I learned is to sell trust and not trash. Because when you pay attention to quality above profit, the business or the product speaks for itself.
I love that. To sell trust and not trash. That should be a motto for every business in this country, indeed in the world. When you provide quality to your clients, to your customers, that is the sure road to sustainable success and probably true success.
Oh, yes.
I love that. I love that. Let's take a break, but stay with us because we still have some wonderful things to discuss with Ngozi. Back. We've come almost to the end, but still a very, very interesting and stimulating part. Ngozi, let me ask you, can you describe a little bit more about your business? How big is it? How many people do you provide jobs for? Let's whet the appetite of people out there.
Currently, I have 2 permanent staffs and 3 contract staff. Then we have about 12 distributors. So I would say I'm also creating jobs for them because they are selling my products and making extra cash. And the beautiful thing is that most of those distributors have businesses that were really affected by the COVID. So the spice business for them is an alternative income for them. And since it's growing, in fact, I have some of them order for as much as 150 packs of these spices, like twice in a week or monthly and all that as the order comes. So it's been a really productive part for alternative for them, productive what I call it
enterprise, own productivity,
well.
yeah.
Yes, and apart from that, I do what I call unbranded wholesale. So you might be using some spice that tastes like mine. It's also mine, but it's not my brand. So I produce for
In
those
bulk.
who, yes, in bulk.
Okay,
So they
okay.
rebrand and repackage in their name.
My kitchen would like to hear that.
Okay, so I also encourage people that want to go into the spice production business, but you don't want to use my brand name, so I can produce for you and then you work with your brand. So it's like also expand. For me, it's increasing production and sale, of course.
Okay.
But, so don't be surprised when you try out some spice and you're like, oh, it tastes like some spices. It's actually some spices.
Yeah. Are there investment opportunities?
Oh yes, we have actually started. I have a product here. This is a spiced crayfish. I know a lot of people are like, which one is spiced crayfish again? You know, like I said, we're creating healthy alternatives to your conventional spices, but we're also being creative. Spiced crayfish basically is a combination of lots of protein you can cook with it. And like this one, you can see it's cheap crayfish. This actually is a product for an investor. So when we invest in our business, what we do is we create a unique spice for you.
Okay.
So it's like you selling your product with our brand name, because we are already known for what we do. So it's, I wouldn't say franchising basically, but for the investor, like this particular spice, the chi stands for Chinyere. Chinyere, Dr. Chinyere, she's in the US. So, but she saw our product, she liked what we did, and said, okay, she wants to buy into this. I said, okay, I'll create a unique spice for you. So all the account details for this spice are kept separately from the business account. So we keep tabs of what is happening. So she gives us a percentage and then gets her money back.
Wow, that's a great incentive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shows a real business acumen. Thank you so much. Yeah. And to all the potential investors out there, where you don't want to work, but you want to make money, think about Ngozi's business. Ngozi, thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's been great having you on the show. But can you, a last word to our viewers? What would you say to other young people out there?
Entrepreneurship is not an easy journey, but for me as a person, giving up doesn't exist. It does not exist in my dictionary. Whatever the challenge is, you can overcome it. But first, build a structure. Your brain is not for storage, it's for thinking. So when you think, it's important to write down, because what you don't write down, you're quick to forget. So if you have that business idea, write it down. Write the vision down. Write everything it would take to succeed. And then, as you go along at the journey, you can tick. Write everything you need. Do your business plan. It doesn't have to be a complicated document, but it's a guide for you, because every step you take, you can go back and see, what am I doing? Am I derailing from the plan? And with so much passion, you can achieve anything. Why I always ask people, what you do, are you passionate about it? Because when every other thing fails, passion becomes that drive that keeps you going. So keep at it. Giving up is not an excuse at all.
Absolutely. Giving up is not an option. I don't think we could possibly end on a better note than that. Giving up should never be an option. Ngozi is wonderful, Ngozi is special, but there are many, many Ngozis out there. And so I echo her words. And if we truly create enough mass of young people who genuinely take on entrepreneurship and make a success of it, we will reduce the unemployment rates significantly in our country. Thank you all so much. We shall continue to bring to you wonderful young people like Ngozi. There are many more lined up for our show. There are many more out there. Please do write in if you would like to be part of the show and feature. We've had a great time. I hope you have had too. Once again, I'm Dr. Kechi Obuagu, your privileged guide on this journey. I thank you. Till the next time.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. Introducing Free TV, the national platform for every Nigerian. Get 100 plus channels immediately. Sports, news, and entertainment in your native language. All with clear picture quality. Whether you're in the city or the village, our satellite signal reaches every corner of 36 states from day one. No monthly subscription, just a compatible decoder and you are set. It's a national asset built for you. Take the show on the road, download the Free TV app and stream your favorite channels anywhere. Starting this May, scan to download the app or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by NBC.
We are local.
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken it to by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Good day, Nigeria. Welcome to E-Vibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. I'm your baby girl, Queeneth Mokunta. I'll be walking you through. We have lots of stories today, and today's playlist, pal. So first of all, let's talk what's trending. Nigerian Afro house singer Niniola has announced the death of her husband, Michael Ndika. The Grammy-nominated artist shared the heartbreaking news through a series of emotional posts on her Instagram story in the early hours of Wednesday. Ndika, who served as the Chief Executive Officer of Niger Review, a multimedia platform dedicated to Afro house and contemporary African music, reportedly passed away under undisclosed circumstances. In one of the posts, Niniola stated that God had taken him, while another post confirmed that her husband had died. She also reflected on their long-term relationship, noting that they had spent 13 years together alongside photos of the couple. The singer has yet to reveal further details surrounding his death, as she has largely kept her personal life away from public attention and social media. Niniola, 39, rose to fame after emerging as one of the standout contestants on Project Fame West Africa in 2013, a breakthrough that launched her music career. She has since become one of Nigeria's leading Afro house artists, with her 2017 hit song Maradona gaining international recognition and drawing attention from global music stars, including DJ Snake, Drake, Timbaland, and Beyonce. So this news came earlier this morning, and everyone was shocked because, I mean, Niola has been someone who has taken her private life out of social media. She has not been posting things that you would say, okay, this is her family, this is her children, this is, you know. So she coming up to post on social media and posting sad news and statements and pictures and reflecting how they've been together and all that came as a shockwave to every single person. The only problem now is that she hasn't disclosed what exactly is the cause of his death, what could be the circumstance behind it, because she never came up on social media to disclose that, okay, her husband has been sick for a while now and this is the cause of the sickness. So people are sending condolences around the entertainment world, and of course we know that Niniola is not just a small person in the music industry. She has released lots of songs, even her hit song Maradona in 2017 that, I mean, topped charts and made her get a Grammy nomination. So she's not actually a small person. People have been sending condolences, comments on her post, and also we're waiting to know what exactly could be the cause of the death of her husband. This one is actually a sad one. I wonder how she's gonna get through this, because it's sad losing a loved one and it's sad losing your better half. Anyway, Nigerian Afrobeat stars Wizkid, Burna Boy, Asake, and Tems have secured nominations for the 2026 BET Awards. The awards ceremony is scheduled to take place in Los Angeles on June 28, 2026, and will be hosted by comedian Drewski. The event is also expected to air live on BET. Organizers unveiled the nominations on Tuesday, with Nigerian artists earning recognition in several major music categories. Following their collaborative efforts and a string of successful releases, Asake and Wizkid received a joint nomination in the Best Group category. Tems emerged as one of Africa's most recognized nominees after earning 3 nominations, including Best Female R&B Pop Artist, BET her award for her song First, and the Viewer's Choice Award for Rain Dance, her collaboration with Dave. Now, Burna Boy also earned the nomination in the Best Collaboration category for his feature on Ghana's hit single WGFT. The BET Awards remain one of the most prestigious international platforms celebrating Black entertainment and culture. This is my... I know you people say I have favorite awards. I have like 3 favorite awards. Well, yes, I love BET Award, I love AMVCA, and of course I love the Grammys Award. So why do I like BET Award? It's an award for the Black, right? Black entertainment categories, an award that is usually held for just the Black, those that are Black American, Black African, Nigerians, and all that. This is literally all the Black in Africa, in Asia, Indonesia. As long as you're a Black person and you're in the entertainment world, this is where they tend to recognize you and give you a recognition award. That's why I love it. Nothing else. And I just love movies that tend to stream on BET. They are explicit, interesting. The storylines are actually resonating, and yeah, they tell Black stories. That's the fun fact. They tell Black stories. There's no sentiment. They tell our real life story, how we behave, how we speak, how we eat, how we act, businesses, and all that. So that's why I love the BET Award. I love the fact that they can recognize themselves and they can come together, not just by having a channel, but they can come together to have this award ceremony for nominations and give honor to whom honor is due. All right, so that's why I love the BET Award. Nothing special. Anyways, Wizkid has become the first African artist to surpass 11 billion total streams on Spotify across all credits. Music chart platform Charts Africa announced the milestone on Tuesday, describing the Afrobeat star as a global music sensation. According to the platform, Wizkid is the first African artist to achieve every major streaming milestone in Spotify history, including the latest feat of crossing 11 billion streams across all credits. The achievement comes 4 days after the release of State of Mind, Wizkid's collaboration with DJ Tunes, which was released on May 15, 2026. The single recorded more than 685,000 global streams on its first day on Spotify, further cementing Wizkid's dominance on the global streaming scene. Now, I don't know how to react to this. You know the fun fact? I've actually not listened to this music, but I will now. Don't mind me, I'm quite very chill today because I have cough, so I don't want to do something to strain my throat, right? So I'm trying to be excited, but I don't know how to do it because this is actually big. 11 million streams on Spotify. The first African person. This is huge. So this is actually a blow to me that, okay, you need to go and listen to this song for it to get this amount of streams. 685,000. What? That means that single must be so great. You know? That single must be very, very great for you to surpass such numbers. So if you've not streamed that particular song, okay, we are in same category. Let's go and stream that. Let's see how and why this man, this Wizkid, could surpass that number, right? All right, so Nigerian TikToker Olumide Ogunsanwo, popularly known as Sea King, has criticized Ibadan-based Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, over the recent wave of attacks and abductions in Oyo State. Sea King made the remarks in a video shared on his Instagram page on Tuesday while reacting to the mass abduction of teachers and students of Community High School, Ahoro Esinele, in Orire local government area on May 15, 2026. According to reports, bandits on May 17 beheaded one of the abducted teachers, identified as Michael Oyedokun, and released a video showing the school principal appealing to the government to negotiate with the gunmen to ensure the safety of those still in captivity. Now, reacting to the incident, Sea King accused Igboho of remaining silent, despite previously vowing to eliminate banditry and insecurity in Yoruba land. He described the activist silence as political and questioned his failure to respond to the growing insecurity in the region. The TikToker also alleged that Igboho had abandoned his earlier promises to confront criminal elements terrorizing communities in the southwest, despite recently returning to the country. The criticism comes about 3 months after Igboho's name was reportedly removed from the federal government's wanted list by President Bola Tinubu. Igboho recently returned to Nigeria after spending nearly 5 years in exile following the invasion of his Ibadan residence by operatives of the Department of State Services in July 2021. During the administration of late former President Muhammadu Buhari over his agitation for a Yoruba nation. Listen to what he said.
Sunday Igboho, where are you? Sunday Igboho, kò lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ báyìí. You talk say nobody should come and campaign in Yoruba land except for Tinubu. Say you want to send out all the Fulani in the whole Yoruba land. Kò fẹ́ lé gbogbo Fulani tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá fẹ́ lé wọn kúrò. Bolójú ẹ wá nsìn. Where are you? Where are you? Why are you silent? Want to take over Yoruba land though? Fulani to take over Yoruba land. Where are you? Sunday tó ti gbowó tó lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Where you dey? Mr. Elenu of Africa. Look at it. Where are you? Jageton, Jageton.
I mean, if you made a statement earlier that, oh, you're going to remove banditry, Fulani headsmen, you're going to secure the security of the Yoruba land, that, oh, no other person should campaign aside from Tinubu, the current president, this is happening in the Yoruba land. So, I mean, everything you said should be put to action. People are being abducted. People are being beheaded. And these are not just people in schools. These are people's family, people's children, people's wife, people's only son or daughters. So if you made a statement earlier, it is time for you to adhere to whatever you said. Yes, I mean, it is time for you to adhere to whatever you said. Because you made the statement publicly and people are like, okay, I think the change can begin with you. So let's go ahead and we'll back you up. I mean, you say you'll be at the forefront to do this. So it is time for you to actually do exactly what you promised. That's why he's calling out on you that you have not said anything. And are you sure this silence is not political? Because you were actually, I mean, spoken to about whatever statement you made, and you've not been in Nigeria for 5 years. So you're back now. So they expect you to do exactly what you have said. All right, moving forward, Sandra Idoho has accused her estranged, Sandra Idoho again, has accused her estranged husband, Frank Idoho, of physical abuse amid ongoing controversies surrounding her alleged relationship with singer Chike. Now, Sandra has faced intense criticism online following reports of an alleged extramarital affair involving the singer. Responding to the backlash, Sandra did not directly deny the allegations, but instead accused Frank Idoho of being an absentee husband and father. Now, she also alleged that he had multiple affairs with different women, including some prominent celebrities. In a series of posts shared on Tuesday, Sandra further accused the media personality of domestic violence and emotional trauma during their marriage. She stated that she would not accept being labeled unfaithful or being subjected as derogatory remarks online. Now, while insisting that Frank Idoho should also be held accountable for what she described as years of humiliation, physical abuse, and emotional distress, Sandra also claimed to possess videos and photographic evidence to support her allegations, some of which she shared on Instagram story. As of the time of reporting, Frank Idoho had responded to the allegation. Is it not funny? It's quite funny. I mean, he started this whole drama. I'm sure if he didn't go public, they wouldn't be here. So I saw some clips, I saw some pictures, and the story was long. I think now I'll have the time to go read it. The story was long. I mean, everything she said is more like, you know, when that first statement made by her came out, when people were like, oh, King of Malice is actually an absentee. So why are you now crying? And you know, because people have been creating content with it, right? So now she dropped a whole lot of evidence, and people were like, oh, these people's names she came up to talk about will still come up to counter it. And I said, if they are coming out to counter it, they should be careful because she has evidence, right? So she made a whole lot of statements with pictures of domestic violence and some chats. She posted some chats of some people telling her, oh, I saw him with this, you know, some receipts, bank receipts and all that. She just went ahead to post it, even to people he sent the money to, places he paid things for, you know. That's why I said, you know, someone made a comment. The person said, you're bruising. This is coming from a woman that is ready to destroy this man for whatever reason it may be. Because, yes, she's been tagged an adulterous woman. She's been tagged someone that sleeps with somebody else while in marriage. And mind you, she was not in that marriage. They are divorced. She sent divorce papers since 2022, you know. So now people are more like, what? So it's not just the being absent and, you know, malice. You're actually abusing this lady. There's a video that came up where she was confronting him physically that, oh, who are you talking to? Why are you talking to that person? And I think something happened. I think his phone fell off. And then another video came when she started recording them, videoing them before she went in to confront him physically. This conversation is long overdue. They should go outside and settle their matter. We are tired. Honestly, we've been talking about Frank Edoho and Sarah Edoho for the past 2 weeks. We are tired. They should go and rest. Anyways, that's all I have for you in the news segment. We'll go on a short break, and coming up next is Playlist Pal, so stay with us.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Welcome back. You're still watching eVibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. This is Playlist Pal segment. As usual, Wednesday, we tend to recommend some songs to you to add to your playlist. So today we're looking at Omo Bilibo's songs that actually hit playlists for so many people that was topping charts then. I don't know if they're still topping charts. But first on the list is Culture. Now, Culture is a high life inspired song. We're actually going cultural today, yeah. We're going back to our roots. It's an inspired song by Umo Bilibo that celebrates African heritage, Igbo traditions, and the importance of preserving cultural values despite modern influences. In the song, the duo reflects on the pride of their roots, the lifestyle of the people, and the need for younger generations to remain connected to their identity and tradition. Through rich instrumentation and storytelling, they promote unity, hard work, and respect for ancestral customs, while also addressing societal changes affecting African culture. So listen to it.
On your record them, if live wonder, if live wonder, if you're gonna go, on your mama sani walu ni oso, madam tuwa go buoso, ani ga walu ni oso, idele wonder, asma ni ga walu ni oso, anana walu oso, wanda di walu oso, ina no kam. Cause I want to jolly. Ukunwani melonya lumo to gawa bunny. Onya mo massive for prayers, they need the money. Man, I'm boji mungayo, you see my bombi bula baggy. Imagine life without no money. You go suffer, tire. Imagine life without no lojo. Some guys say, I want me low. I tell me, Rochi, ever the beef, man, no